What's up, everybody? It's Chris Denman. We are live from Midcoast Studio, St. Louis, Grand Center. We've got Sam Morril in the house, man. What's up, dude? How are you?
I like that intro. That was good.
Nice, and it was succinct, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I did it for you. I usually do a really long one that's kind of winded, and I try and work into material. And for you, keep it short, to the point. Sam's at Helium Comedy Club all weekend long. Had a very fun show last night. Heard it was a raucous crowd. You're getting after it, man. It's going to be a good weekend.
It's going to be good, yeah.
It definitely is.
A little light last night. It'll pick up.
It's a Thursday, man. It's a holiday weekend, too. You guys know Sam from, Last Comic Standing. We got 4 people that have been on Last Comic Standing on the wall over there, I feel like. Colbert, Conan so many times. You work regularly at the Cellar in New York. It's got to be fun to get out on the road and work your wares in the Midwest, man, right?
Yeah, sure.
It has to be. You live in literally the entertainment, mecca of the world. You pop into one of the coolest clubs, if not the coolest club on the planet, you get paid to go hang out in a place where people would literally plan vacations around, right? To maybe see somebody from their favorite Netflix special or something, and you're there on a regular basis. When you get out on the road and you are pushing that, which is part of the game, right?
Sure.
Is it ever a little bit strange whenever you go from like crushing on a Wednesday night at the Cellar to maybe a light crowd in the Midwest? I mean, that's interesting to me.
It depends. If they're a hot, small crowd, that's great.
Right,
but
like good looking?
If they're staring at me like the whole group just got fired, like last night. I was like, was this the Times-Picayune layoffs right here? Did you come in from New Orleans?
Right.
No, it was, so when they're giving you nothing, it's kind of like, well, this is my new hour, so... I felt good about it. I felt good about it a second ago.
Yeah. Well, even with the credits you have and the accomplishments you have under your belt, is it good at this point in your career? Is it good to have those days to kind of take you down a peg, or is it like, or you just suck?
I think some people say it is. I don't know. I mean, I just have them. So I feel like the people that are like, it's good for you. I'm like, yeah, but I feel like you don't do. I feel like you're in like theaters or something.
Right.
I don't know.
What a difference, man. Theater crowd. I hadn't been to a theater show in a minute, and Forrest Shaw. I bet.
Yeah, sure.
Forrest features for Jim Jeffries. Forrest was very kind. He was like, hey, stop by. And I went to a theater show for the first time. I forgot that you have these people just eating little treats out of your hand for 2 hours. Everybody's like just sitting back, like he doesn't have to work for it. And I'm not cutting any of the comics down. Those people are there to see Jim Jeffries, and they're going to laugh at literally everything he says.
Well, it's also when the ticket price is that much, there's an investment, I mean, you're like, I'm going to make sure this is good.
Right. This is fun, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is great.
But no, I mean, it is good in that you have to, it's good for new material to fail, I think. It's good to have to drag it through the mud a little bit.
Even if it is good, there's always room for improvement, I guess, if you're being really
positive.
But
then I also find that when a crowd's good, I'll take more risks. When the crowd's giving me nothing, I'm not fully myself on stage. You know what I mean?
Are you defensive?
It's hard to be vulnerable for an hour straight when they're giving you nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Certainly.
So there are moments when I'm myself, when I start getting, but then when they're not giving you enough, it's hard to just keep going to that place. And I just, it's not like acting where you just keep going. You break the fourth wall and you're like, what are you guys, assholes? Like,
right. You're gonna mix it up a little bit. Just kind of like, can we reset this? Like,
and then one person said, like, at one point went, "Oh," and I was like, "Fuck you." Don't pity me. That happened once while I was in this club, and I was doing this bit. I don't know if you saw my Comedy Central special. I did a bit about it was a dead baby joke.
Sure.
It was like a 7-minute thing. I like we're on the inside. The actor said, "Sure, it's the
course.
dead baby joke."
It was deceased. No longer moved.
It was about an alligator who ate a baby, and
that clip's everywhere.
Yeah. So anyway, it was when I was working that. It's a hard bit to work out for crowds that don't. 7 minutes or so. It's a 7-minute bit or so, and crowds would be like.
They give
not
you
receptive
like
always.
17 seconds to be like, I'll let you say this, but I'm going to need you to turn this around to where you're like, I'm just messing with you guys.
It's hard to commit to a long bit regardless, but when that bit is, lacking in taste to some people, it's more of an uphill battle. So, I remember I was doing that joke, and a woman just, as she's walking out, yells out, you fucking suck. And I just hear the door slam right behind her. And I was like, well, that stopped a bit, a little. And then I was just like, oh boy. And then one woman in the front row goes, I think you're doing great. And I was like, well, now I was like, that was somehow worse.
Yeah, I think so.
You know?
So for perspective, how long have you been doing stand-up?
It feels like 14 years or so now.
Still
I should take that back. It feels like 35 years. It's about
Yeah.
14 years.
I was like, yeah, you look young,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's a weathered soul that's up there on that stage, man.
I wouldn't even say it's weathered because, to the veterans, I'm still a baby, in this.
Right.
But, it definitely, when you're on the road for a while and you that's the thing. It's like I'm trying to write new, so you're going to bomb. I mean, that's the thing that keeps you,
right?
Right? So I'm trying to, that's the only way I know how to keep getting fans is to keep
Take
writing
some
new
risks,
stuff.
I mean, really just putting yourself out. Like you said, you mentioned vulnerable. I just think it's interesting, too, that, again, I'll just keep kissing your ass on this. The chops, the work you put in, everybody, like IMDb, check out what Sam's done, guys. It's really actually very exciting. I just like that part where it's like it never ends, man. It never. You're who you are. You're headlining clubs, and you still have to hear Sharon walk out and slam the door because she's having a rough day.
That was her
didn't
name,
care for
Sharon.
that. She
God
was.
Damn it,
She's
Sharon.
my second cousin. I really don't appreciate you bringing it up, but you keep doing that.
It's you're right. It definitely there's a comfort and a fear at the same time where you're like, yeah, this is it. This is what it is. So you just hope the numbers keep going up and the more and more people are there for you. But, in certain markets you feel it, and then in markets elsewhere you're like, this is going to be a battle.
This is going to be fun.
But you got to write the new stuff, and goddamn, when I'm slipping new stuff in, I'm going to have to burn this stuff soon. And as I'm doing it, I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes I just forget how to write jokes. I guess these aren't funny. I don't know. I thought this was funny, and then you throw it out there, and they're looking at you like, who the fuck told you were good at this? Like, so I don't know.
So as far as entertainment goes, you've hosted sports shows.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, comedy. Your resume is up there. As far as entertainment goes, as far as like what you kind of push, is there anything that you hate doing that you've been paid to do? I do find that interesting because, so we did morning radio, and it's St. Louis, right? So you're going to be you can talk sports just like you could be a fourth tier fan and know about the Cardinals' third on the depth chart second baseman in AAA.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things where I got so tired of talking about the just monotony of all kinds of different sports stuff all the time, every day. Did it ever, or I guess, are you interested enough in sports or on the TV show you hosted or just any time?
I'd have to fake
it
it sometimes.
Yeah.
Basketball is the one I know a lot about and I'm obsessive about, but yeah, I'd have to brush up if it was hockey or you know.
You care about hockey? We're in the middle
I
of
like
caring
it.
about hockey right now.
I'm a Rangers fan. I like it, but I don't. I would have to brush up on it. I don't. How much time is it? People were like, people always give you don't watch this. How many hours in the day are there?
What are you people doing? Yeah, the guy's got to write.
Then it's like, I got to have jokes. I want to read a book occasionally. I want to watch a movie occasionally.
Yeah.
Then they're like, you haven't watched Game of Thrones? And then after every Game of Thrones, they're like, this show is the worst fucking show. I'm like, well, then stop yelling at me to watch it.
Right.
It's everything. People are like, you don't hear enough of this. You don't watch this? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You don't hear enough of that.
We need to make sure, we need to infect society with that. I need you to stop caring about what other people are watching immediately.
Yeah.
Right? So we're literally, the Blues, that's a thing too. They'll play Monday, so it's avoiding your weekend here. In a small enough
so funny that
city,
your team is named after sadness. Doesn't that say everything?
With 0 Stanley Cups, right? Yeah. It makes sense. You think Boston's
You've never
gonna
won a
take 'em out?
Stanley Cup ever?
No, they've never. They've only been once.
Yeah, I hope they win. I mean, I can't take Boston having any bigger of an ego at this point.
This is insane. Like, I'm 34.
They're so spoiled a sports town.
Half our life now. Like, they've just been crushing. Every sport, too.
Yeah.
Basketball, hockey, football, baseball, everything.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't need this to happen either. I do kind of want it to be interesting. And again, I'm a passive hockey fan.
Are they who's favored to win?
I believe Bruins, Gardner. I believe the Bruins are.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I haven't even checked the lines on it. Do you bet a lot?
No.
No. Yeah, good. I don't need.
No, because my thing is, if I like the sport enough, I'll just watch it and enjoy it. And if I don't like it, I won't watch it.
Yeah.
I don't need it. I don't need
You're a
to
practical guy, Sam.
I don't
like
need
that
to throw
about
a
you.
mortgage involved on,
Favorite basketball team, Knicks.
Knicks.
Yeah. Go.
Yeah.
Speaking of cursed, you got a David Lee jersey?
I know he's from here. No, I don't. But I like David Lee. I thought he was a. I was gonna say a hard worker. I'm like, wow, that sounded like the whitest thing. He was a real hard worker.
Like it is funny to me. Like I had the pleasure of getting my ass handed to him in high school by him. And I don't know what I'm saying. He was a great basketball player in high school. I got to play against him. And
he had
it's
a good
funny.
pro career. I mean,
He had a fantastic, and then ended up with a ring or two.
He was on at the beginning of that Warriors run.
Yeah.
I think he got one ring.
I think that's
when they were underdogs.
Yeah, man. Like how crazy is that? He did that, and he went from like this guy here who Nelly rapped about when he was in high school, doing all these crazy dunks, won the McDonald's All-American dunk competition, to like. I remember him, like people probably with the Knicks fan base hated him because he was an overpaid max contract
Well,
guy.
he wasn't an overpaid max contract guy with us. He was an overpaid max contract guy with the Warriors.
With the Warriors? I don't know why I was associated
That's
with
the
the
year we
Knicks.
paid Amari Stoudemire big money. So we went with another guy whose career ended prematurely. Thank you very much. Amari for half a season was the coolest Knick in probably
Ever.
20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, he was for half a season. He
had a little run where he was like getting some like spots on TV shows and stuff too.
Yeah,
like,
Amari's a very likable and charismatic guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved him. I mean, his knees went out.
Yeah, that happens in a hurry, man. Do you need your owner to peace out for the Knicks to be anything decent?
I don't know, man. I'm sure it doesn't help. I think it doesn't help with free agency, but I also think, he gets blamed for stuff that sometimes isn't him. I mean, he gave Phil Jackson the keys to the kingdom, right?
Right. And
Every Knicks
no one
fan-
was. Did you think that was a good move at the time?
Of course. I don't
Everybody
think anyone
would.
at the time
Yeah.
didn't.
Phil Jackson.
Because it was like, this guy's a legend. I mean, he's a legend in another. That's the weird thing. It's like taking, he's a great coach. And it's like taking, well, this is the best comic. Let's have him make a movie.
Right,
Like
exactly.
and it's like, how about like a comedy? They're like, no, let's have him make a drama. And you're like, all right, that's a little different. And it's like, you're changing things up, So, and then Phil just didn't seem like his heart was in it.
Right.
And then he just paid huge. I mean, it was like classic Knicks. So, I don't know what it's going to. I think they're going to get Durant. I really do.
Do you want Durant in? Do you want that to be your guy? He's amazing. Yeah.
Do I want the best player in the world? I don't know.
I don't really care for his tweets. I don't want him to play for my team.
I still want to feel it out with these young guys too. No, of course I want him. He's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't want him to mortgage the entire future like they always do. But
Right.
that being said, I would kill for Durant.
I think that would be a lot of fun if the Knicks were competitive on a. It's just. It was those days. I got spoiled watching Jordan up against the Knicks back in the day. It's more fun when those big city teams are dead serious in the mix.
Sure, especially in New York, because
Yeah.
basketball is a part of New York's fabric. Yeah,
absolutely.
you walk 3 blocks, there's a basketball court. It's that's just part of the city.
Yeah.
So pick up basketball. I mean, you think about like Rucker and West Fourth and all these basketball areas, and you go anywhere there's a court, people shooting around. So yeah, it's tough to not be competitive.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't even mind if we lose, but just get us in the mix, make it exciting again.
Durant comes back, and you guys
We'll be
are just a
competitive,
perennial
it's
8
just
seed.
Well, I mean, if we get him, I assume we're getting someone else.
I
don't
would
thi-
guess so. Yeah.
I don't think he's coming alone.
No, it doesn't seem to work like that anymore.
No.
Does it? Yeah, it's a whole thing. You brought up dramatic parts for comics in this. Do you want to jump it? Do you ever want to be that guy that they're like, do you want to surprise a generation? You're in a movie or a TV series or something, and people know you for that, and then this awesome stand-up career kind of hits them from. You're like, oh yeah, he's a stand-up too. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying.
I want to lead with stand-up, but
Yeah.
I of course want to do other things. Like I want to challenge myself. I don't want to just do. Yeah, I mean that's I think part of trying to write the new stuff is to try to challenge yourself. So yeah I don't want to just get comfortable. I think it's bad for your brain.
It probably is. And maybe this is a poor example. Don't get caught up on the name, but think about how many people Tim Allen did stand up for 20 years before. Tool Time or whatever that show's, Home Improvement.
Yeah.
And then think about how many people would never, and maybe he wasn't a good enough stand-up to know about
It's funny.
that.
People were always like, he was a murderer. And then every clip I see, I'm like, all right, I'll take your word for it.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I know people swear by him, but I know it never did it for me. But,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, I enjoyed
but I
it.
loved him in Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up. I
He's a
was
good
gonna say,
actor.
yeah. He
I
knocked
think
that out.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's funny when people were like, you should have seen him. I was like, well, was the bar lower? Because
Do you think that's what it was? Whenever people bring up, I'm trying to think. I feel
well, maybe
like
he spoke to a certain audience. It wasn't
we're
me.
not even realizing now too.
Yeah,
Like
I
I heard a comic, and this is what happens with everything. This is the greatest of all time. You've kind of alluded to this already in the conversation, but like Bill Hicks, like if you go to some of his
But he was
material
great,
now,
though.
oh, he's unbelievable. But I
He
also
also
heard
died at what, 32 or 33? So it's
Super young.
like,
Like,
so the guy
he
had
wasn't even
5 hours of material.
coming into his
I mean,
own.
he was.
Well, it's interesting too, and I'm not even trying to pick on our time period, but I literally heard somebody be like, he said a lot of stuff about women and all this stuff, and that to me is just interesting that we can't all, and maybe this isn't
We
everybody.
like to poke holes and find flaws rather than see the good. You know, I mean, it's more entertaining for people to find the bad than look for the good.
Yeah, it's probably that simple, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
It's just that's more interesting to us as a species.
There's no news story and great old footage found to people, but there is footage and Bill Hicks calls a woman the C word. That's
Yeah.
gonna get clicks.
Yeah,
You know?
very
So,
true. Have you run into any of that with your material? Obviously, you brought up the stuff with
Yeah,
the
of
dead
course.
baby, but
There's blowback. There's always going to be blowback. I think if the joke's strong enough, the good outweighs the bad. But sometimes I'll throw a bit out there too soon, and it's not there yet.
Yeah. Do you recognize that in some of your material? We're like, I'm good enough to do this, but this piece isn't ready.
Sure, if it's a touchy subject,
Yeah.
then it's gotta be good.
Right.
And also, why stand by? That's why I don't love all these podcasts, because I'm just free flowing, and they want to talk about dark shit, and you just are like, well, this is where the bad jokes go off the cuff.
Right,
Like normally I can work them out in a club and hone them. I like honing things. I like writing things. I don't like just throwing things into the world.
Yeah, that makes sense, and we won't try and get too dark today. I mean, maybe. What do you think about like Louis stuff that got leaked? Like that happened. Like that.
I find it to be disgusting the way that people are piling on him, because
People that benefited from him.
Well, no, my thing with that is you're piling on a bit that wasn't done.
Right.
Like he didn't release that, and to take the control away. Like, what if we just went to like Tarantino's catalog and just released footage that wasn't meant to be in a movie?
Right.
He can't shoot stuff.
Right.
Maybe he was trying to make it good and it wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
So the fact that we took control away from him, and people are piling on now that he uses Yonder, which is what you put the phones in a pouch. A lot of people do that. Aziz does that. Chappelle does that. A lot of famous people don't want their material to be leaked.
I want to say Rock did it too.
I think he does. Yeah. So to me, it's like, I don't like it. It doesn't bode well for comedy for me.
Yeah, I think
And for taking risks. And I think this is one of the last places you can say almost anything.
Right.
And take that risk. And I think Louis has time and time again proven that he does it well and tastefully, at least in that area. So
do you feel like he's gonna? He just came through. He's doing these like almost pop-up shows at clubs.
Right.
Sells them out. I mean, they're club. He just did the Funny Bone here. Do you feel like he's gonna get back to stadium status? Or I say stadium. Yeah. What do we call
I
that?
think he'll do what he wants to
10,000
do.
seaters?
I don't know if
Yeah.
he wants to do that. I don't think he ever wanted to do 10,000 seaters. I think he wanted to do like 2,500 seaters.
Right.
So maybe he'll get back to that. I don't know what he wants. So
Yeah, that
we'll
could be
see.
interesting to see kind of how all that plays out. I feel like he's kind of back on that path, and he'll be there soon enough.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not
what everyone
for
wants
it's
to
not
do.
for me to decide. It's for the public to decide. It's for do people want him to come back? And I think a lot of people get second chances, and we'll see.
No, it makes sense. In New York, working all the time at the Cellar. We just had our friend Mia Jackson in. We were talking to her about that. It almost. Do you ever pinch yourself at how magical it feels, or do you to look around the room to see all these killers? Heard a good story about you, Amy Schumer, asking you to escort Mia to her first
Yeah.
appearance at the cellar.
Amy said, Amy said, my friend is coming. Will you show her around? I said, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm a gentleman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
take care of that.
So yeah, we hung out. I didn't know Mia yet, and then Amy wrecked her at the cellar, I believe, and now she works there.
And pushing it forward. So you have to just be so proud of that to work. And maybe it's too close to you because you work it all the time.
No,
but-
I mean I don't know what I'd do without it, and I don't mean that just like in terms of livelihood. I mean that creatively. I mean that it's like such a big part of my life. It's probably the biggest part of my life of anything.
That's amazing.
It's crazy. It's I'm there almost every night when I'm home, and then to the point that it's probably hurt a number of relationships.
Nobody likes to go down there with you, or do you go solo and like to
I
mingle?
just don't want to be the guy who's I'm like, what if I've been on like one date with a girl? I'm like, this is a girl I'm bringing to my show. I don't want to be that guy. It's like it's work. It's not for other things, So
that has to be tough to explain to somebody.
I'll do it sometimes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's for the most part it's work. For the most part, it's comics that I want to see. It's it's I don't know. I wouldn't know how to take. I feel they have a new joke show there where you throw new jokes
Yeah,
out,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't know what I'd do without that. That show has been huge for me.
Packed crowds, I'm sure.
Yeah,
She's-
it's full in this little room, the Fat Black Pussycat, which is one of the satellite rooms, and then I also run an hour in there, and it's so helpful. I mean, I'll take a few L's in there for sure.
Yeah.
But
It just gives you the opportunity to hone everything.
totally,
Right?
yeah, it's great.
I don't want to keep you here too long. As far as this weekend, people can get tickets for Helium Comedy Club. Go see him. Sam is extremely funny. He's got our friend Tina Deball on the bill as well.
Yes.
Tina's a favorite of
And
ours.
Sam Evans from New York City came down with me.
Oh, that's
He was
awesome. So
really
you
funny as
brought
well.
your
Tina
feature
did a
with
really
it.
good job last
Yeah,
night.
that is. I love that you guys, and that's because it feels like it's become more of a thing on the road. Maybe it's always been like that, and I just didn't know about it. Bringing people that you choose as your feature,
Well,
like that's a good thing. Though,
I think
for
it
you.
benefits the show when sometimes you'll be paired with someone that's just not they could be really funny, but it's not a good match for
Sure.
you. And I like to follow people that aren't, that are like the right energy for me to follow and have
What's your
really
show?
good jokes.
You're
Yeah.
there. It's your ass on the line. It's your numbers that they're going to compare.
Well,
to
not
bring
every
it
club
back.
looks at that way. I
Yeah.
always looked at it that way. But if you're headlining it, yeah, you should kind of tailor the show to what you think is going to give the audience the best evening. But some clubs, like you walk in, they're like, "All right, you're doing 45." I'm like, "What? Why are you telling me what I'm doing?" So I like when they're like, so they come in at like these club. Helium's great, and they're like, "What do you want it to be?" And I'll say, "I want to do 60 minutes." And then they'll do 20 or 25, and the host will do 10. I like to kind of design
That
the
is
show
fun.
because I want the audience to have the best experience. That I think is
And that's something too. Just the fact that people are getting out. Like, first of all, you've taken this. Maybe it's a risk, a very low risk, but you're going to go out. You're going to see some comedy. You should want every layer of that to be the best use of your time possible. And whenever people like you bring those folks, like that's a hidden little gem because you're going to laugh really hard too during that middle set. Like I don't know. I've seen it not go well, and it's a much better experience when it does go well.
Yeah, look, it's a tough thing. I mean, I used to middle, and it's just it's tough. You don't get paid enough, and you also it's just a tough gig.
Yeah.
But clubs that care, I think, still pay the middle acts, or maybe should even pay them a little more. So
Sure.
that's something also to think about. But yeah, I've had funny people. I've been lucky to have funny people with me, and some people from New York will want to go just to work on stuff because you get quality sets on the road.
Yeah, get a different type of person hearing your stuff too. I mean, that probably.
I think you
operates
got to
it.
run the jokes, as I said, through different types of crowds. Sometimes if the joke's good enough, I think, oh my God, and it doesn't hit in certain markets, I'm like, fuck it, but
Call it. Like, no,
Whatever.
you people are idiots here. Yeah.
I'm like, I like it, I'm keeping it. But yeah, it's usually got to have some sort of broad appeal as well as be funny to me, or otherwise you just kind of become tone deaf, I think.
Wise words. Sam Morril, check him out at Helium all weekend long. Dude,
Thank
thanks for
you.
stopping by.
Thanks
I
for
really
having
appreciate
me.
it, man. Yeah.